Hello, guys. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys, to this month, July's monthly webinar. Can I see your names? Can I see your names and your location? Where are you watching from? I want to see the names and location. Can we have them coming? So happy to be here. So happy to be here. Yes, I can see Jimo. Just put your location also. Just put your location. You know, if you're from Nigeria, from UK. Admin, can you increase the volume of the background music? Thank you. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. So happy. So happy to see you guys once again. Yep. Okay. Okay, Jimo from Lagos, Nigeria. Yep. Okay. You can see peace from any lag. Is my audio loud enough? Yeah. So happy to see you guys. So happy to see you guys. It's gonna be so loaded tonight. It's gonna be so loaded tonight, and you know, it's gonna be a transformative session. Yes, good evening, Jimo. I can see you. Yep. Just giving our audience, a couple of minutes to just log in. And okay, I can see Raphael. Yes, who is there also? I can see Mary from Delta State in Nigeria. Where are my UK audience? Let's tell them we've gone live. Where are the UK audience? Let's tell them we've gone live. Yep. Yes, I can see Paul from Unilag. Thank you for joining us in this month's webinar, The Unspoken Rules of Greatness. Guys, you don't want to miss it. It's so loaded. Just, I want you to invite, I want you to invite all your friends. I want you to share the links. In 2 minutes, we're gonna start flying. In 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we're gonna start flying. Yes, I can see faithful. I can see faithful. Yeah. Have we been doing that? Have we been making use of, the inspiration from last webinar? How many conflicts have we resolved? Yeah. How many conflicts have we resolved? Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we'll just start on this note. When I was preparing for this webinar, of course, it took me several hours, to prepare for this webinar. I just sat down, just meditating that most of what I share, yes, on the monthly webinar, are lessons from, let's say, 5-10 years ago. And the interesting thing is that many colleagues or many people that we met then, they had access to this information, yeah? Or for many of them, they didn't make use of it, because at the end of the day, greatness is a choice. I think let's start on that note, and I'm going to be covering that, in some like that. Greatness is a choice. Greatness is a choice. I'm just giving us a teaser, yeah, of what is coming. Greatness is a choice, and in today's world, we have many great people, or the distance or the margin between great people and mediocre people, those are struggling, those that have read it so well. And for me, God started speaking to me last year about the younger generation, how you have to impact them. He wants to make you a voice to this younger generation. And I struggled for 2 years. I was just procrastinating. I just enjoyed that feeling of just receiving, because in life, doing something consistently takes a lot of discipline and resources and energy. So I was like, no, I don't want to do this. But the burden was just there. Up until last year, December, I said, no, we need to set up something. And, I want to thank everyone that's joined us from January to February, the Scaling the New Heights webinar, the Men and Ladders webinar, many of our webinars, our posts have been engaging us. I just want to really thank you. And I also want to thank our wonderful team at Prime Council for putting this whole setup together, because the gratitude is very essential. So we're going to start on this note. Can we share my slides? What's greatness? Because we've talked about the unspoken rules of greatness. Yeah, we said, what are the unspoken rules? But someone is asking, especially those that are just joining us on our webinar, okay, what's it all about? What's greatness all about? And this is going to be a series. It's going to be 3 phases. This is the first part. Yeah. Next month, we're going to cover a very, very crucial aspect of it, and I'm going to be sharing the flyers very soon. But what's greatness? Greatness is the intentional pursuit of purpose that lifts people. Now, I'm already flying now. That lifts people, places, and generations better than you met them. So you can't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm great. And look at that. You can't just say, I'm great. But it has to be intentional. And it has to be an active word, an action word, like a verb. A verb is an action word. You can't just say, I'm a great person. No, it's not a noun. Greatness is not a noun. It's an action word for intentional pursuit of purpose. So it's not just anything. You can't just say, I'm great because I wake up in the morning and I don't do anything random. No. The intentional pursuit of purpose that leaves people, places, and generations better than you left them. And a young person on this call, a middle-aged person on this call can be asking, okay, how do I know I've been called to greatness? Because that's the understanding that we have, that everyone has been called to greatness. So, everyone on this call has that desire to be great. We have that passion. We have that, you don't want to be counted as someone as a failure, but as a mediocre. So, there's an emphasis there that I made. Look at something I said. Greatness can be a dramatic call, and I'm laying a foundation. Of course, you know I always like to lay foundation before we go into the deep and complex issues. Can we reduce the volume of the music, host? Is a dramatic call. Can be a dramatic call. So the call to greatness can sometimes be dramatic. Like Jesus Christ appearing to Saul, Saul that became Apostle Paul. He saw a bright light when he was going to Damascus. That was a dramatic call. Like, oh, I've sent you to preach the gospel. I've sent you to be, a popular person. I've sent you to be a destructive person. Somebody, a young person, can have that kind of call. And you've read many stories in today's world on TikTok, on Instagram. People tell you about their call to greatness. It could be a dream. It could be a vision. But there's also somebody on this call that's thinking, am I called to greatness? Because they've had a simple call. Look at the emphasis there. Greatness can sometimes be a simple call, like Jesus Christ casually saying to Peter, follow me. Look at that. How can you call someone and just say, follow me? But he said, I will make you fishers of men, just like that. What do you mean? So we're saying here that greatness can be dramatic and it can be simple. Yeah, some are the trait of greatness as inherent attributes. So some people, when you see them, from the birth, they have that tendency, they have that disposition. They call it aura. They have that aura to be great. From being a baby, you have people like Moses and many people. Someone like Lionel Messi, the footballer. And I'm going to be using, of course, I'm going to be using both kingdom examples and also contemporary examples. So Lionel Messi, for example, people will say he was born with football. And as much as you need the training, as much as you need to be disciplined, but he has the natural and inherent talent of being a footballer. Why some are to develop, and majority of people, especially most people on this call, will be in this second part. They have to develop the qualities of greatness. That's acquired attributes. So like we've said in one of the videos I shared, and I know many of us engage with our post, with our content. I spoke about inherent attributes and acquired attributes. Inherent attributes, you're born with it. Yeah, you just naturally have it. It can be a gift, it can be a talent. Some people are naturally gifted at singing. Some people have to go to the school of music and they become so, very, very good singers. Yeah, so we have inherent attributes and acquired attributes. So acquired attributes, you develop it, you build yourself. Many people, yeah, they fit into this part. So the unspoken rules of greatness. So if you hear about your webinar and the unspoken rules, I'm sure that bets curiosity in your mind that what are the unspoken rules? Because if they are unspoken rules, that means they are spoken rules. They are known rules. And we know many known rules. But a lot of many young people, yeah, they don't know the unspoken, the hidden rules of greatness. And, they are kept in that oblivion of what's this? What's greatness? So, unspoken rules are the invisible factors and standard that determines outcome. Host, work with me as I go to the next slide. So, invisible factors and standard that determine the outcome. So, you've seen this diagram that I have here, started from leading self, which is the most difficult, and we've discussed that in the economic and social value of leadership in 21st century. The second webinar is on our YouTube channel. Go watch it. It's so extensive. We spoke about leading yourself, about personal leadership, about branding before societal leadership, and leading society. So you see the diagram there, from leading self, then once you can succeed in leading yourself, of course, talking about your foundational principles, your value system, your mindset, which is going to be the crux of our discussion today. Then you go to leading others. Remember, we said that greatness is that you pursue your purpose that impacts people. So you can't say you are great for yourself. You can't say if you live from 0 to 80 years and you only had impact on yourself, you only fed your belly, you only bought food for yourself. You can't say you're great. You can start out leading yourself, but on the ladder of greatness, which is also the ladder of success, you will start leading people, other people. And once you begin to do well in leading other people, then you begin to enter into structures and systems. Then you can own an organization or work in corporate institutions. So leading businesses, then leading society, culture shaping. And that's the major emphasis of 21st century. that in today's world, if you are not impacting culture, if you're not relevant to the society, you're as good as not being counted as someone that is great. So think about it. So a young person is saying here, yeah, that this is the journey you need to take to becoming that great person that you foresee yourself. Whether it's a dramatic call, yeah, or it's a simple call. You must go through these journeys. So what are the pathways to greatness? What are the pathways to greatness? So how do I become great? You need anointing before approval. Now, watch this. This content is so relevant for today's world, especially in today's world of social media, where people seek for public appraisal and approval. People seek for public empathy and sympathy. You need divine empowerment and selection first before you get to recognition by authorities. Because we've emphasized, for example, networking. We've emphasized that, yes, your allegiance is more important than your intelligence in today's world, isn't it? Or we didn't say no to intelligence. No. So you must have that personal track record. And look at this. In today's world, different spheres of influence have different metrics for achieving greatness. But one universal principle stands out, which is honor. Honor for the great brings you into the realm of the greats. I don't know if you can start some of the key sentences that I'm going to be making. Honor for the great brings you into the realm of the greats. Because you can't talk about achieving greatness if you don't respect the realm of greatness. Yeah? And in the Bible, they'll say, for example, if you don't honor your father and mother, your days are cut off. So you want to desire greatness, you want to achieve greatness, yeah, you must honor greatness. You must honor those in that realm. So honor is a fundamental principle, whether it's in the business sector, whether it's in leading yourself or society. Honor is a universal principle. Or, your greatness quotient. Look at something very, very phenomenal. Your greatness quotient, as the sum of your greatness, is directly proportional to your humility index. And we need to drive that home because humility, honor, and value system is eroding from our society and our culture. The Bible says that whosoever will be great among you must first become a servant. And if you look at that reference I said here, and I always like to pull these references because I know many people, come back to the webinar, they go study. So I don't just assume that everybody's at that same frequency. That's why we take extensive lengths to have a slide so that, of course, we can speak by inspiration, but we want to speak structured because I know that many people are at different knowledge level. We have young people, we have middle-aged people, and we have older people. So if you look at that Galatians 1 verse 17 to 18, and of course, at our monthly webinars, we always use kingdom references because, they are so balanced. You will see the Apostle Paul there, the one who had dramatic call. After he had dramatic call, he didn't just go now to approval. No. As much as Jesus Christ called him to become an apostle, he didn't just open a ministry the next day. He said, I did not go up to Jerusalem to see those who were apostles before me. But I went into Arabia. Arabia is a place of learning. The moment you don't have interest in learning and transformation, you don't need to tell yourself that, I'll be great. Automatically, you're cut off from greatness. The moment you can't pay attention to personal discipline, like I said in the previous slide, leading yourself. And we have many people in today's world that are leading societies, that are leading businesses. And we've said that in the second webinar, I think in February, that's one of the major crash land of people in today's world. They'll tell you, get to the top. But no one tells you that how do you get to the top? What kind of matrix or ladder are you using to get to the top? But when you get to the top, then begin to edit how you get to the top. And you see someone like Samson in the Bible, he was destroying the Philistines, he was winning battles, but he did not take that journey of personal transformation, of growth, of discipline. And why? He just had the approval, acceptance from everyone, but he crash landed. So you see the wisdom of the Apostle Paul here, that he didn't just go for approval to be recognized by the authorities, but he went for transformation, for empowerment. You see it in also Jesus Christ. Yes, he was anointed of the Holy Ghost, but he didn't just say, no, I'm going to go heal the sick. No. Yeah, he went into the wilderness And I foresee that many young people, and when I use young people, I mean from 15 to 40 years, are in that journey of Arabia, of desert, of transformation. And it seems like, oh, when will I ever get to that realm of greatness? That's what someone can ask. But life is a journey. Life is a journey. You must desire to start that journey and not just seek for public appraisal, because those that call you Hosanna today will later crucify you. So see the pathway to greatness, anointing in terms of transformation, empowerment, working on yourself, refining yourself, building your value system before you now you're recognized by an authority. And we're going to be seeing that system in the next slide before you now start being embraced by your community and your society. And that's what we are doing here. We've gone through that journey. We are still going through that journey. And people are getting the approval from authorities. Yes, I get messages from different authorities, both in religious settings and business settings, of the impact, and I'm encouraged. And definitely, it automatically translates into community acceptance. You're building culture, you're finding culture. You're building a community of vibrant people, guiding the next generation of leaders. The process of growth, and I'm going to be linking that on the next slide. Look at this: sitting down. That is the hardest part. Like we said, in that part of you going into Arabia, of you going into that journey of no one knows you anywhere, but you have the gifting, you have the fire in you, you have the passion, you have the business acumen, but nobody knows you. You must sit down to learn. As you begin to grow, as you begin to learn, definitely it's just like saying someone that keeps on taking it, like a child. Or you keep on, let's say a bottle, for example, you keep on pouring into a bottle. What happens? It begins to expand. And definitely it gets to one point, what is this that can be contained? Then it bursts forth. So once you begin to, start that journey of sitting down to learn, and that's what we are doing here. We're all sitting down to learn because we are positioning ourselves for greatness. Some it could be in 1 year, some it could be in 3 years, some it could be 10 years. But you must sit down to learn. And once you begin to sit down to learn, and for those that have sat down long enough to learn, and people like us, we sat down for many years, sitting down is in levels. Sometimes you can sit down, you can start and stand, and come back to sitting down again, depending on the seasons that you have in life. Now you must get to that point of starting with courage. You know why I'm saying this? Because we find ourselves in a world whereby some people, they are ever sitting down. The Bible will call them ever learning, ever coming to a knowledge of truth. The Bible will say something like, when you ought to be teachers, you will need one to come feed you with milk again. And we have many people that are adult babies. Yeah. You see someone that's in his 30s that should be an example, a role model to people in their teens and in their adolescent age, or you still have to be babysitted because you've not sat down to learn the principles of growth, of greatness. So I'm so intentional about emphasizing this, that you must sit down and learn, because only those that sit down to learn are those that can start with courage. Now you must have, when you sit down to learn, you build the energy system, isn't it? And now you can have that force, that inertia to start the same way I started Prime Council in January. I've sat down for long to learn. And now I pour out easily because I've sat down to learn for long. And I've started. And I know we're not even standing yet. We are still trying to stand. We've done about 8 webinars or so. Yeah? Or we have many people that have been doing webinars for over 30 years. People like our mentors, Dr. Samadeyemi, for many years, they've been standing. So you see, greatness is not just, it's systematic. That's why I said it's an intentional pursuit. It's not just random. You now stand with consistency. So historical systems of approval. The popular man in the Bible, Moses, was the system of approval for Joshua. Joshua was the one that succeeded Moses. So you see that pattern, yeah? Honor for the great brings you into the realm of the great. And I can't begin to emphasize that Joshua really served Moses, someone like Elisha and Elijah. Peter was the approval system, yeah, for Apostle Paul. The Holy Ghost was the approval system for Jesus Christ. You see his pattern. It's systematic. Yeah? And someone might be asking, oh, is it just in the kingdom? Is it just about the Bible? In today's world, Some of the wisdom that has shaped our civilization, our century. The next slide, you see them. Yeah, ancient wisdom that has come from Socrates. Socrates was the founder of ancient wisdom. Yeah, and he passed it down to Plato. And I know some young people, so I say the Gen Zs, might not have heard of some of these names, but these are people that have shaped how you think, how I think, how we live. Strong quotes, powerful perspective. They passed it down to Aristotle, then Alexander the Great, that captured over 1/3 of the world. Some Gen Zs can be asking, okay, I know Oprah Winfrey. She was mentored by Maya Angelou. So you begin to see the mentorship lineage. And we've said that in one of our webinars, yeah, the value of mentorship in the 21st century. I want you to go watch that webinar if you're still struggling with mentorship. Because in today's world, we've said men are ladders. There's no how I will be here today without the contribution of men. Systemic help, systemic input, systemic mentorship that has brought us to this place of dispensing value. Your seal is stronger than zeal. And I'm sure some people have seen that quote I made some days ago. Seal, that's a cap, like you sealed something up, is stronger than zeal. And it seems like we're talking about the unspoken rules, and you are thinking, I know these things. Remember that it's not just about you knowing them, but are you doing them? Because someone can say, I know these things, but what's the conversion rate between your knowing and doing gap? What's the margin between your knowing and doing gap? Or you say you know something, you know something. It's not about your stories you share, it's about the results you produce. The proof of encounters, the proof of transformation is not stories, it's results, tangible evidence. Yeah? Zeal cannot take you where seal can keep you. And this is specific to, and I'm sure I'm seeing some of the names online, to many of the young people online, yeah? I know you have the energy to do things, but once you live long enough on this set, you know that leverage is key into this world. And one of the major leverage you can get into this world is having a seal. The story of one of the sons of the prophet, and I'm going to be sharing some histories here in 2 Kings 4 verse 1 to 7. His wife said, that's, the son of the prophet, when he died, the wife came to Elisha that the debtors have come. He said, look at what the wife said about this prophet. He feared the Lord. Look at that. He feared the Lord, but there was no record or mention of his regard for men or honor for men. Because he was called the son of the prophet, isn't it? One would have thought that would have said, my husband served you. No. But she said, my husband feared the Lord. And I'm highlighting that because many people fall under that crux. They tell you, I fear the Lord. Oh, for me, I love the Lord. But I've said that it's not just about stories, about the results. But you don't see any fruits of the Spirit reflecting in their knowing God. But they just enjoy the feeling of knowing God. So we see here of the wife of son of the prophet that said, this guy feared God, but there was no record of him honoring men. The scriptural pattern for anything on earth is God and man. And I've said this many, many times, and I'll keep on saying it. Jesus had favor with God and man. That's your Jesus, your Lord and personal Savior. The greatest being on earth had favor with God. You would have thought he didn't need any man. But that's the pattern there, that for you to have favor, for you to thrive on earth, yeah, you need the input of God and man. In Luke 18 verse 2, you see something there. I'm just trying to give, I always like to give emphasis to guide our understanding. There was in a city a judge which feared not God, nor regarded man. Look at that. He did not fear God or regard man. So you see that the Bible is intentional about honor for men. Honor for men. Seal better than your zeal. And without doubt, in Hebrews 7 verse 7, the lesser is blessed by the greater. Many people have gotten it on the God factor, but missed it in the man factor. And that's why they are struggling to get into the realm of greatness. Because in this world, getting to the realm of greatness is the input of God and man. You see Lionel Messi acknowledging Ronaldinho, Kylian Mbappe acknowledging Cristiano Ronaldo, the Bishop Oyedeko acknowledging the impact of Kenneth Hagin, of Pastor Adeboye, Barack Obama, the former US president, acknowledges, Bill Clinton. So the key thought here is, who do you honor as a young person that desires to get into the realm of greatness? Who are you, or who is your role model? I have long-time role models. Dr. Miles Muron, Apostle Joshua Selman. I have mentors at my workplace. I've said this in the mentorship webinar. It's so important. The qualities of lasting greatness. Let's begin to fly, guys. Identity. And I'm not going to stress on this because we've done, something, in, I think, the economic and social value of leadership. The second webinar everything is all on YouTube. We have exhaustive resources on YouTube. You can go explore it. Identity is one of the major causes of achieving greatness. You must know who you are before the world can know what you represent or your assignment. Clarity on identity determines clarity on purpose. Remember, I would say that greatness is the internal pursuit of purpose. But if you don't know who you are, you can't know what to do. Be secured on your path to greatness, because, like I said, some people, their journey to greatness can take 10 years, some can take 5 years, some 15 years, like Abraham. Many people in today's world, they've been in the oblivion, but one day they just erupt and you say overnight success. But they've been sitting, they've started, now they're standing and everybody's seeing them on the podium. A man that is in honor and knoweth not is like the beast of the field that perisheth. If you don't know who you are, and I've said, there are many resources online on our platform. Now we'll go to resilience and tenacity. So I'm already giving you the unspoken rules of greatness. And when I mean unspoken rules, it's not necessarily about the newness of the information, but about the perspective. Because information must be line upon line. Many of us, we have scattered knowledge. We have residual knowledge that doesn't impact. But knowledge that makes you go forward is tradable knowledge. So it's not just about, I know you've heard about identity, but do you know who you are? As a young person, as a middle-aged person on the spot? Do you know what you stand for? Do you know your place in the society? Resilience and tenacity. Hebrews 2 verse 10. For you to become a captain, you must go through that path of suffering. Jesus Christ even had to refine himself through pain. So are you committed to your conditions, which is what your present condition you assist? Or are you more focused? Are you more committed to your conviction? What should be, what can be? Personal scars give credibility and credence to your advice. Many people want to impact their world. They want to be coaches. They want to be mentors. But you need scars. Scars is what gives credibility to anything you say. The capacity for consistency despite roadblock. So look at, and I had to highlight some of these things and not taking a cheap no for an answer. Look at that. Because sometimes you have to take no for an answer on your path to greatness. You have to turn back. You've gone through, you have done something. But sometimes people turn back from where they should be resilient from. For example, you say, I can't work in a place that they don't like me. Meanwhile, maybe you should have been there to endure and build that capacity to endure attacks. And many people in today's world, they live online, they live Instagram, they say they are bullying me. Meanwhile, that's why you should be shaping culture, but because you don't have resilience and tenacity. And I gave a disclaimer there. Don't be a victim of sunk cost fallacy. Was it the phenomenon whereby a person continues to do something when he knows that this thing cannot take me forward, but because you're so emotional about it? And many people, and especially young people, middle-aged people, they are involved in a relationship that can't take them forward. They're like, no, I've been there for 4 years. Let's see as it goes. In the unspoken rules of greatness is that you have to make sure you are an action-oriented person. You must always check that this action I'm involving myself in, does it drive me forward? You can't just live life outcome to time. What changes outcome is time and action, not time alone. Look at that, guys. What changes your outcome in life is not just time, but time and intentional action. So discernment is differentiating. So now you have to know when is this a cheap no? For example, I was applying for masters in Canada many years ago. For many times I got rejections. Yeah, but I had to turn away from that, and now I'm in the UK. all what I wanted in Canada, I have it here. But I need that discernment to know that no, I'm so pro-destiny focused, not pro-location focused. And I know many people that because they are pro-location focused, they will tell you, is that US or nothing? Is that US or nothing? They are grounded where they are because they don't know how to differentiate a cheap note from an expensive one. Some people have lost thriving relationship because they cannot endure. So you need that discernment. So one of the unspoken rules of greatness, discernment. You must be so intelligent. You have to be connected to that inner mind to know, okay, what step should I take here? There's a roadblock here. Should I turn back? Should I push? Should I push? Wisdom is knowing when to stop. So discernment. There are some truth that you know by teaching and some by revelation. So I'm teaching you now, but you must also go back and say, no, I've taken note in today's webinar. What does this speaker mean by the unspoken rules of greatness? What does it try to convey? Then you get into that self-reflective mode and you begin to catch a revelation. Look at something. Your emotional intelligence should be equal to your intelligence quotient. And that's going to be the next webinar. I'm going to talk on that at the end of the webinar. Emotional intelligence. In today's world, is so important. People will be led by those who understand human behavior. More than just, in today's world, people are involved in social genetics, human psychology, because they've seen that once you can get into the thought of men, that's building the mindset of a legend. Once you can get into how they think, you can control everything they do. Thinking in deep time, not in real time. So you must think like a builder of civilizations. That's what I've been saying. I said it. You want to step into the realm of greatness, then you need to be a builder of civilization. You have to think in record, and not just today. Many people are beclouded by today. Many people, because of their love for today, they've forgone their future. Many people, because of their love for the past is always jealous of the future. They can't live the past. They can't say goodbye to the past and embrace the future. So you must not just be a consumer of moments, or you must be someone that builds civilization. Legacy takes time. Don't trade the eternal relevance of temporary applause. Greatness is not just a one thing, it's a lifetime endeavor. So that's why it's not just about you show up one day and you disappear, for life. No. Avoid over familiarity. Look at that. Avoid over familiarity. When it gets to over familiarity, it's too late. So look at something. I said avoid familiarity. Think about it. Avoid familiarity with the realm of greatness. But when it gets to over familiarity, it's already too late. As a young person, as someone that's desirous of becoming great, you must be so discerning that you are not even caught in that way of familiarity. Talk less of over familiarity. Look at that. So it's not just about over familiarity, but familiarity. Stop at familiarity. You can't even get there. No, you must be so discerning. People find it hard to grow in the atmosphere of familiarity. Jesus' siblings could not discern his greatness, but his mother could discern it. Said, whatever I say you should do it. It's a son. Look at someone like Lot in the Bible. We know Lot in the Bible. He could not discern that Abraham was a great man. He just thought Abraham is my elder brother. Look at that. He thought Abraham is my cousin. But he didn't know that Abraham possessed. But he should have known. You know why he should have known? Because he saw that, well, I'm not that intelligent, but I have properties. I have assets. I'm making money. I have influence. But he should have known. He should have been discerning to know that, why? I'm connected to Abraham. He didn't know. Never buy the finger that feeds you. Many people, they buy the finger that feeds them. Avoid colleague mentality with the great. I'm already sharing the unspoken rules of greatness. Avoid colleague mentality with the great. Many people would have gotten access to me, but when you see that disposition, for example, when you chat, and you know that this one is not even, he doesn't know the modus operandi of becoming great. Avoid colleague mentality with the great. Boundaries are built by intentional commitments. There are people that are intentionally not even engaged because I want to honor them. Because I've told you, for example, I gave a pathway on how to approach mentors. That sometimes you can go to a mentor and say, mentor me or inspire me, and the person is drinking coffee and they're chatting, and you two are drinking coffee, you're chatting. He's drinking coffee because he's at that level. You are not yet great yet. But he's hold your book, and if you gist for 2 minutes or 1 minute, you say, yes, sir. Yes, I have this thing to ask. Don't just sit down there and spend your 2 hours and you come back and say, I've gone for mentorship session. You gained nothing because you thought your colleagues, because you have been in the same environment. And I'm speaking to everybody here. Avoid colleague mentality with the greats. And how do you know the greats if you can't design the greats? That's why it's so systematic. You must be so designing to know, wow, I've found greatness in this person, and I want to raise that person on that greatness quotient, gradient, not just as a colleague. It could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be your sibling, it could be your spouse that has the tendency, that has the oil of greatness. But you must not get to that realm of familiarity, talk less of familiarity. So the key question here is, what commitment have you made to honor and design greatness? As a young person, what's your creed? Because of the creed, what's your laws? And I'm going to be showing some that I have in the next slide. Next slide, please. Look at something, and these are peculiar to me, or your rules must evolve as you grow. I always celebrate, and if this is where we end, is enough. I always celebrate, send prayers, make wishes, and package gifts to people that have impacted me. Look at that. I always celebrate, send prayers, make wishes, and package gifts to people that have impacted me, including my mentors, my pastors, my elders, and my parents. Number one, law of greatness. Now, honor your father and your mother on earth, that your days may prosper and may be prolonged. Look at that. People don't celebrate those that are great. They don't send prayers. They don't remember their birthdays. Think about that. You're someone that's impacted you, someone that is close to you, that is great. And you're just thinking life is about just garbage in, garbage out. I always ensure I am available and accessible for use or demand of responsibility from a superior, either at work or in church. Look at that. These are unspoken rules of greatness. Nobody is going to tell you that. But as you do them, you just find yourself one day in the realm of greatness. I always ensure I pick up my call and reply text messages on time. And in peak times, when I can't pick, I return the call or messages later. Don't ignore a great person. Don't even ignore anybody or go on ghost. And many people are victims of this. Do you know that when people have struggled to access you, even when they are tangible information, they know that you are not reachable. They will not even. I'm always active and online because I'm expectant of information. I'm expectant of people placing demand on my potential. Always accessible. As a young person, you are not reachable. How can they reach you? How can they invite you in the realm of? Do you know that in the realm of greatness, information is key, and information is speed. Imagine it takes you 3 days to reply a text about a job interview. Promptness is key in the realm of greatness. As much as possible, I openly engage with content of those that inspire me and publicly promote them. Many people here that have impacted have not taken time to post our content for one day. And sometimes they come to me back and I'm thinking, you have not used, and I've said it here, that the realm of greatness is not about you being needy, but about being of value. So systematic. You don't celebrate, you don't bring value to the realm of greatness. You just want to be a cankerworm. You have the victim mentality, you have the needy mentality. As a young person, as a middle-aged person, I use words that communicate honor, like boss, sir or man, thank you. I reduce the use of emojis and shorthand when texting. I'm telling you what will take your life forward. People, I've seen great people, and they know you're not serious. As a middle-aged person, you just put like, no. You do that to your friends. Many of you have not even gotten into the corporate world and see the same. Some people, because you have been used to it, now you can't even draft a civilized email again that portrays professionalism. I listen more than I speak when I'm in a great person. I took one of my friends many years ago to one of my mentors. This is a method that when I go there, he speaks for about 6 hours. I hardly ask, maybe if I speak is when I ask a question. I'm so serious. I will be writing down notes. Even up okay, many of you know that I just came back from paternity leave. Glory be to God. And when I got to the office, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I had a catch up with my colleague. And as she was speaking, I said, no, hold on there. I took my notes. I said, please lecture me. And I started writing. That didn't reduce my greatness quotient. No. Because what you think you know things. No. You don't say you're knowledgeable because you know things. Check the ratio of what you don't know. That's when you know that you don't know things. I listen more than I speak with a great person. I use them as a source of inspiration rather than a source of envy. People that should be your mentors, you are doing colleague for. Yes. You are envious of someone that has sat down for many years, that started and is standing now. You are just starting your journey, you are envying the person. Rather than there are people I follow online, many people that have inspiration to me. John Obidu, you all know that I'm so public about his impact. Global Temi, Apostle Shem, and many of those great people, they are source of inspiration, not colleague mentality. Let's go to the next quality of greatness. Wisdom. Wisdom. You can become intelligent by knowing mathematics and calculus. Yes, you can become intelligent. But you can only become wise when you know the scriptures. In 2 Timothy 3 verse 15, the Bible said, and that from a child, thou hast known the only scriptures that is able to make thee wise unto salvation. Salvation here, not meaning, the first salvation about, being redeemed from sin, but salvation as regarding earthly dominion. Earthly dominion, yeah? Salvation. And I was speaking to the volunteers, that's our mentees, I think sometimes, and I was explaining what that meant. That you will have what we call formative years as young people. I think it's 0 to 7. I've forgotten the age now. That once you miss that stage, there's some certain information that you need to know. There is they call it building block years. And many people on this call have exceeded it. So you need a lot of work to even get into that understanding of becoming wise. The people of the world make use of the wisdom from biblical principles. But many believers don't. Wisdom is not loud, it is stable. In Luke 16 verse 8, the Bible said, and the Lord said, the children of this world, that's people of the world, the unbelievers, the pagans, those that don't serve God, they're in this world wiser than the children of light. Wisdom is the only asset that is relevant on earth and eternity. I did a study on wisdom and I found out that there are many, many components on earth, like favor, power, and many of those things, grace. But on earth and eternity, wisdom is the only one that stands out. In Revelation 5, you see it on the screen. That's why I had to ask. I said, no, guys, let's show them this. Let them see it. Because seeing is believing. See it there. What is the Lamb who was slain to receive power, wealth? You see wisdom there, strength, honor, glory, and praise. But you also, that's for earthly dominion. But you also see it in 1 Corinthians 1 verse 30. But of him are ye in Christ Jesus, who of God is made unto us. Number one, wisdom. Those are eternal elements: sanctification, redemption, and righteousness. But you found wisdom there. What is kicked out here? Many believers, many people, believers in confession, they just say it, I'll be great. But their mindset is dead end, mediocre, and failure, victim mentality. Like the Israelites. Look at the Israelites. They were praying to God for deliverance. Oh God, deliver us from the Egyptians. Well, I'm tired of slavery, like many of I'm tired of suffering. And God is sending deliverance. In Psalm 78, verse 41. They tempted the Holy One of Israel. They frustrated God because of their unbelief. And God said no. He had to kill all of them in the wilderness because their mentality was crude. And that's what's happening to many of us, especially those from third world countries, suffering from colonial mentality, victim mentality. We are believers in confession, but in our mindset, we can't believe. we can't believe anything, that we will live that life of bliss, we will live that life of purpose, of impact, of influence, of fame, of wealth. No, many people don't believe that they can be rich. Why do you need wisdom? To navigate delicate relationship. Look at Nicodemus. He was a pagan. No? He was one of the Pharisees, but he came to Jesus Christ by night. He was strategic. He knew that he can't come during the day because there'll be oppositions. He came by night and he said, Rabbi, thou art a man sent from God. From no man can do these things except God be with you. He came by night. Strategy. People, you just bust into a great man's DM on LinkedIn. Hello. My name is Victor. What? You need wisdom to navigate delicate relations. My wife was asking me when he said, look at our age. We're not up to 30 years yet. The kind of people that that in our circle, much more older, and this has not been today. Right from when I was in the university, most of my friends, first of all, they were not even from my culture. Different cultures. The age group they were in their 30s. But when we relate, they are always in my house. When I was in my third year university, one of those days I had cars parked outside my house. These were my friends. I didn't have, of course, I had nothing. Why? I can relate with the greats. The things I shared there. You see someone other than you don't say Alpha now. What's that? Value for a good name. Next slide. Let's begin to fly. Reputation is a preserver of impact and a keeper of record. Good attitude and positive sense of character are precursors to a good name. Of course, attitude, your character. There was one day, I think, many years ago, I went to a place, one of the richest people in our community then. I went there to their son's house to play game, and some of my friends also went. And the woman was like, yo, you guys get out from here. I don't want anybody to come to my house. And someone else said, no, that this is Ayo, the son of Pastor Moloye that stays down the street. And she said, which Pastor Moloye? What? She came to hug me. She said, no, always come here every day. She said, always come here every day. Even when her son goes to school, she will give us access to his room to play game all day because of the good name that my father has. Good name, we're talking about greatness. It's not just about garbage in, garbage out. You must preserve your name. And many people, the things you're doing now, like I said, you have been marked for greatness, but the way you're living your life now, in Yoruba, they will say you have spoiled ground before you even get to the realm of greatness because you have spoiled your reputation. What is the network of the signet? A good name, the Bible says, is better than riches. Some people, it's just about profit. What is in it for me? Integrity is key. Integrity is key to this world. You want to get into the realm of greatness, you must be a person of integrity. Look at something there. Value secrets more than intelligence. Some of you talk too much. You always, like I've said, of course, you know now that there's nobody on this world, a young person, that will be found blabbing on social media, on the comment section. That is an aberration of what we represent here as Prime Council. Where you should be found is in a policy room, not in the comment section. That's one of the rules of Prime Council. You can't be found in the comment section just arguing and saying all these people, all these politicians. No! Confidential ignorance is better than untamed knowledge. Yes, it's better for you to say I don't know than for you to say you know and say nonsense. There are some things that you know about people that you must keep short. In the realm of greatness, information is sacred and key. It's not everything your eyes see, your ears hear, that must come out of your mouth. It's not everything that your eyes see, your ears hear, that must come out of your mouth. There are many things I know about people they've confided in me, about addictions, about issues that we come outside and we see, and we deal with it, and we come outside as normal people. And that increases your integrity quotient and your credibility, and now they can count you for weighty things of life. Because they are found to be faithful and being a person of integrity. Look at something very, very important there. That's for wisdom. God caused the serpents. He caused the serpents, yes. The serpent, he said, no, God has caused me. But what else can I have that can change my story? He said, wisdom. And later on, Jesus Christ said, the serpents. He said as wise as serpents. Look at that. He was making reference. He didn't say as wise as Ayo or as wise as Raphael. As wise as a serpent. Look at that. You want to become a standard in today's world, you have to be wise. You have to be wise. Let's go to the next slide. Calmness. Calmness. Oh, we're running out of time gradually. The time goes so fast, in our night webinars. We need more time, guys. Calmness. Maintain your composure, and I use the word steeze so that the judges will understand. Your demeanor, your aura, at all times, even in the midst of battles. I was in school when I was in Ghana, over going to 200 people in class that afternoon. And, this is a personal testimony, to God be the glory. And I was sitting down, and the lecturer outside, I think Dr. I've forgotten his name now, Dr. Tutu. And he said, "Young man, what's your name?" And I stood up. I said, "My name is Victor." I was using Victor then in Ghana. And he said, "I like your composure." Daddy, wow, I almost entered the floor. There's a way you compose yourself. Have you not seen great people with their own life? Have you not seen the people that lead you? How do they behave? How do you behave? Always maintain your... Have you ever seen a politician just lose it? Of course, we have some, yes. But real-time politicians, business people, they're always in control, like Jesus Christ. Not panicking. Oh, we'll perish. Say, no. Why do you not have faith? Why do you not have belief? All will be well. Peace be still. That's control. That's a mindset of greatness. Exemplary leaders are always cool, calm, and collected. It communicates a demeanor of being in charge. Calmness can lay great offenses to rest. The leader postures matters a lot. I say, you want to come into the realm of greatness, your posture matters a lot. You need to be as calm as a dove. What's a dove? It has no gallbladder. It has no duct. It cannot trap resentment. Because you signing up for greatness means that many people will hurt you. They cannot just clear down your face and say, people hate me. That's a victim mentality. You are building the basis of a legend. You're not allowed to be thinking about bitterness, resentment, and anger, and being a victim. The next one is that you need flexibility. The qualities of greatness said wisdom, resilience, tenacity, discernment, calmness, flexibility. You must be approachable. Look at that. You must be approachable. Can I have the live comments, please? I need to see the live comments. You must be approachable. Don't be rigid except on your conviction. Of course, we've said it. Positive compromise and positive rebellion. You have to compromise positively except it touches your conviction. There are things you have to do. To get to the top. You have to sometimes, people coming to this country, for example, into the UK, they have to go do certain jobs that are below their qualification, below their status quo. But because they have to compromise to do that, well, it's not about, being involved in social vices. So it's not against your conviction. Also, don't excuse your conviction. I'm highlighting the blunt, the rough edges around the conversation about greatness. So some people say, I stand on my conviction. Come on, edit your convictions. Always edit and review your convictions. Rather than just saying, I can never. Check. As my I can never change. There's a season in your life you say I can never. There's another season you say I can. Always, one of the unspoken rules of greatness is, that's why you see someone, you'll be like, this person was not doing this before, but now is doing this. No! As a great person, you must be flexible. Every yes you say empowers your no on the day of usage. The majors are red, the minors are everyday. Minors, they are the habit that sustains your majors. Yeah. So think about it. Your majors, you can't move away from it. But your minors will change per season, per time. Curiosity. We're in an era where a question is more important than an answer. Next slide. Curiosity is the mark of legendary takers. So if you're talking about being that mindset, you must be curious. Initiative is a powerful form of leadership. Taking initiative. Of course, you can't lead if you don't have initiative. You must be a trailblazer. Yeah, you must be a forerunner to be able to lead. And greatness, leadership. A major characteristic of great mind is the ability to question the status quo, to say what can be done. It can be done better than this. That's so. Yes, you are building that mindset of becoming a legend. Curiosity is the mark of those that want to be great. You must be curious about your attitude, about your environment. Now we'll go to something interesting. Family life. I'll touch on it. It's so important in today's world. The consciousness of a united family is the greatest asset and investment and source of joy for great people. Because you think you downplay your family and get to the top. The top is lonely. We've said that before. The top is very, very lonely. And that's why you see every great person you see, whether it's in politics or in business or in religion, they value their family. Legacy is easier to build when your relationship are strong and safe and secure. Great people treasure their family bond. Karim Benzema won the Ballon d'Or. He was scored on a stage. They clapped for him after like 1 minute. That's people in the conference room, they clapped for him when he won the Ballon d'Or. That was about 2 minutes, and that's the end. No matter what you achieve in life, the audience, the public people, they'll not say, "Oh, congratulations, thank you. Oh, nice one. Like, you've done a great." That's the end. One comment, and they're gone. Only your family can really value your greatness quotient. Only your family can really value how great you are, because they are the one that see the back end sacrifices. So great people can give anything in return for their family safety. This is the major reason why people kidnap the children of great people, of rich people, because they know that they would give anything for ransom. The same way God also, He gave His Son for your ransom, because He values you as a person. He gave everything He had to get us back, because He values us. So look at the case of Andy Bryan. I know some people would have seen this. He's the CEO of one of these companies. Take it back. Who was caught cheating in public with the head of HR. He had to resign from a thriving job. He had to resign. He was caught cheating. He had to resign. He broke family trust, public humiliation. All about Tiger Woods, the popular Tiger Woods. He left the realm of limelight, of greatness. He crash landed because of a terrible and traumatic divorce. So family life is very, very important. And I know for people that are single, or those that are already married, those that already have children, you must preserve your family legacy. You can't talk about anything legacy if there's not that unity in your family. Look at something. Jesus Christ, in listing His reward system to His disciples, mentioned that they will inherit brothers, sisters, mothers, and children. Yeah? In Mark 30, in Mark 10. But He didn't mention father. And for me, I did an investigation on that. Why did Jesus Christ not mention father? Why? Men sometimes tend to value career more than family. More than family values. They have no parents, most men. So, and that's one of the major causes of societal dysfunction in today's world. The absence of true fatherhood. Guys, I'm not diverting. We're on that same conscience of greatness. But we must touch on this. We have a bankruptcy of true fatherhood in today's world, and that's why many people can't even, because there's no inspiration for greatness as a young, you don't have any father to model that what greatness means. One of the major causes of course, we've said it. So fatherhood is sacrifice dependence. Next slide. We'll see some biblical examples there. Abraham, God said, "I trust you to command your children after me." That's why He made him great. Yes. What about Eli? Eli lost the blessing because he could not train and command his children. He could not keep his family bond intact. The Shunammite woman. So some of these slides, I think what we'll do, we'll share this slide later to our audience. Of course, we're working on our ebook. It's going to be coming out very soon. So powerful. And some of these things, we'll explore them in details because of time. The Shunammite woman. The Bible says she was a great woman. But her husband was nowhere to be found. The child died. He died. But he was in a farm. He didn't come to check that, this my son, he's sick. He died. no interest, no passion. So every man on this call, we have to make a commitment that we must become true fathers. And I'm sure that we're making a commitment now that we must contribute. Well, we have said that you must contribute to society, and society is lacking true fatherhood. True fatherhood is lacking in society. So we are making that commitment as young men, as married men, as fathers, that will be true fathers indeed, that can model what it means to become great to our children and to young people around us. Next one is hospitality. Hospitality. Allow people feel welcomed, safe and secure around your vicinity. The ability to supply empathy to everyone. Abraham's encounter with the angels. Look at that. Invest in people, not platforms. Relationships are eternal. Look at the relationship of Aliko Dangote and Etodola. Span over 30 years. They can. You know, many of you don't have friends over 10 years. You say I've changed levels. Look at that. You're not thinking great. These people, I saw their pictures some time ago. They've been there even before independence, before the first democratic election. More than 30 years. Pastor Deboye and Bishop Oyedepo, they have been internal covenant friends. Carve your names on the heart of people, not tombstone. Build legacy. Be hospitable. Don't be cranky. Don't be touchy. Don't be edgy. As a young person, that's why you have to be flexible. Accommodate people. Now, another quality of greatness is riches. Yes, you need to have an abundant mindset. Money is essential in today's world. Money is essential in today's world. The poor man, he had only wisdom as a defense. What happened? He was silenced. Nobody knew him because he had no resources. Yeah? Influence without resources is vulnerability. You'll be begging. And many people are begging, especially in Africa. They have wisdom, they know how to do things, but there's no resources. So make sure that in your striving to become great, you are making sure that you have systems that make sure that you can cater for all your needs. And of course, we have covered that, some of those. The rich fool had only money as a defense. And some can be saying, well, I have money. You also need wisdom. Money is a good servant, but a terrible leader, a terrible master, if you will let it control you. So you must keep money in check. You cannot allow money control you. Yeah? Next slide. Let's begin to conclude. Yes, you can hear me now, isn't it? Yeah. You need a lot of initial help to rise. A lot. Am I clear enough? Yes, thank you. You need a lot of initial help to rise. Many people, for example, you need to start benefiting from other people's money and time to leverage on that. Look at the US national debt is 36.6 trillion. Think leverage. Look at the slide there. Jesus Christ received help from Simon of Cyrene when he was carrying the cross to go. He didn't say no. He didn't say leave it. I'm on journey to purpose. He received the help that was needed. He didn't say no. I can do all things. I can do no. The angels that strengthen Christ is strengthening you. The angels strengthen Christ that is strengthening you. So you want to become great to impact the society. You must also be impacted. Think leverage. Many of you need to receive help. Learn from Elimelech. Look at the slide there. The husband of Ruth. in the book of Ruth. He was a proud man. Many people have pride and ego, and they will not seek for the help that they need to get to the top. They will tell you, I can never borrow. Wow. And you think, wow, this person is so principled. But when you check the back end, his pride and ego, you see it in Elimelech there. He could have gone to seek for assistance from his relative, Boaz. Boaz was a rich man in the Bible. He was a very rich man in the Bible. But rather, he left Boaz, he left his country because there was famine in their country. He said, no, I will not seek for help. I'll go and hustle by myself. He left his country that was blessed, or even though there was famine, he went into a cursed country. Moab was a cursed country in the Bible. Moab was cursed several times in the Bible. You see it there in Genesis 19, at least 37. They were cursed from entering God's presence for 10 generations. They were cursed. But he said, now I'd rather go to that place, like Lot also. Like Lot also. You could see that Boaz was so kind. If you go read that story well, Boaz was a kind man. He had the capacity to help. But the Bible, the adage of the Yorubas, in my culture, they say, he is the child that opens his arm that the mother can carry. A lot of you here, you need to open your arm to receive the help you need to get to the top. Because you must be drawn, like I said, the less is blessed by the great. Less is blessed by those that are great. Do you know the kind of leverage that I've gotten to get to this point of destiny? Imagine I had to do everything manually and systematically. I will crawl all my life. The Aliko Dangote, look at this there. He took $5.5 billion loan to get Dangote refinery. And you praise him. He's so rich, he's so smart. Leverage other people's money and time. I post there that mentorship. I'm open for mentorship. That I want to mentor. How many young people have come to meet me that, come mentor me, sir? They can't leverage, but they rather want to go through life the hard way. Elimelech and Lot were victims of the same syndrome, over familiarity. Whereas the prodigal son discerned the greatness of his father and he returned home for a situation. So, guys, return to your place whereby you can get leverage after this call. Go meet that person. Say, help me. No, I don't mean begging. Of course, value over need. But systematic help that can push you to the top. You have sat on this mountain long enough. Go up. And you need leverage. You need systems and structures. And they are there. Mentorship sessions, they are there. There are many people that need this kind of sessions. We've shared the links to them. They will not join, but they will love the victim and poverty mentality. Yes. Think and act. Look at that. I'm dressed like greatness. Look at that. I'm having a webinar in my house. And my wife was making jest of me that, you know why you grooming yourself this, talking and everything, wear my blazers and all of that. Why? Joseph, when he was called to rule me the king, he didn't say I'm going there to just. I also he shaved his self and he changed his raiment. He was prepared. He had a mentality of being a great person. He said, I'm never going to go back to the prison again. Many of you look like a condition. As a man seeketh in his heart, so is he. And that's going to be the recommended books. We're going to be sharing it after. Greatness is in dimension. Well, I think we'll just, look at something. Okay, let's cover it. Think across dimension, build for time and beyond time. What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and he loses his soul? So look at that. Look at it. Many of you start from here, from being local. Look at that. Many of you are still here, but God has called you to get to this place. In fact, globe, all over the globe. I believe that we'll go global very soon. Look at the journey, regional, national, intercontinental. Do you know people of this world are even going beyond global, galactic? Elon Musk of this world, Richard Branson of this world, they're not going into space. Look at the mindset of legends. Nothing is a limit for you. Of course, as a great person, you have to be exposed. Leave that comfort zone. Many of you leave your parents' house. And when I mean leave, not just about living, but Go to conferences, to webinars, to conferences. Go and explore places around you. People in the UK always working, travel. Book a trip, go see the world, go see to get inspired, get fresh perspective. And look at the first one, the eternal. So some people have just stopped at galactic. They've gained the whole, they've covered everything on Earth, on globe and galactic. But some lose on eternity. I don't want it to be that. Greatness must get to this place. Eternal rewards. Online and offline impact. Let's go. Look at something. Jesus saw the possibility. Look at what I said in there about local, about regional, about national, about intercontinental. Yeah, you see it in Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was strategic, guys. How do you read your Bible? Look at this there. Jesus saw the possibility of a great life that captures all dimensions to disciple. In Acts 1 verse 8, he said, "You shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me. You shall spread greatness." Number one, to Jerusalem. That's their local city, their current location. And he said to Judea. Where's Judea? Their region. Then Israel as a nation. Then to Samaria, a neighboring region. Look at that. Then to the earth. Look at that. He's thinking this, that. Go back to the previous slide. He's taking this thing, I'm telling you. Look at Jerusalem in local, regional. You see it there. In Judea. Yeah. National is Israel. Intercontinental is Samaria. Global is Earth. Galactic. Universe. Then eternal. Jesus Christ, the one you serve and worship. Next slide. So think across not just your local sphere. Think regional. Think global. When you get to global, think galactic. Think eternal. In 2nd of May 1961, you may not know him, go check history for those that are young here. President John Kennedy promised Congress about the desire for US to land man on moon. Look at that, 1961. Many of us I was not born then. And he said they will get there in 10 years. And on July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first man to land on moon. The Apollo 11 mission. These legends, they think, and you're going to see why I'm saying that now. Next slide. You're going to be seeing why I said that now. So important. You're going to be seeing why I said that. Oh, okay. Great and bold leaders sell vision without shame. So look at this. So as a great person, we've said that you must impact people. That internal pursuit of purpose that seeks to impact people. How do you impact them if you don't have the mentality? So great and bold leaders sell their vision without shame. They sow words into the atmosphere. So of course, we've said it in that second webinar, you must be an effective communicator. That how big a thing is limited to its communication. That the communication of your faith in Philemon 1 verse 6. Yeah. Look at it, the story of how I always spoke about the UN and traveling out many years ago. Many years ago. People on this call can bear witness. People like Joel are here. Joel, can you confirm that? People like Wally on this call today. We're still small then. Speaking about the UN. I didn't know where UN was. When I got to the UN in 2023 or so, I said I'll be here before. Because my mind has traveled here. You first travel in your mind first before you get there physically. Have you traveled in your mind to your future? Magnetic leaders draws others by clarity and conviction. For us here at Prime Council, we want to guide the next generation of leaders. We don't do anything else than leadership, personal development, growth, transformation. That's all we do here. And we cover your spiritual life, your physical life, your financial life, your social life. It's clear. You can travel within and still stand without, of course. So you increase your favor quotient when you dress well. I was speaking about dressing there. Your style attracts attention. You know, many people, they've been called into the realm of greatness because of their style. I went to a conference in, I think, 2021. We all wore suits. One of our guys, he wore native. He wore, the native attire in Nigeria, Agbada. And do you know it was the one that was seen? It was the one that everyone was seeing. It was the one that everyone was like, wow. And it even got award. It was published because it was strategic. It won native when everybody was wearing suits. Style attracts attention, but your mindset sustains it actually, because people can come to you and nothing is here. So you see that what is here must match what is inside here. They see you from afar when you dress well. They come close to you when they see your mindset. Let excellence. So you say, I'm excellent. I'm excellent. Let it be visual. Let them see it and let them hear it when you speak. That the opening up of your mouth will be wisdom. Next slide, please, as we're going to round up. Taking such, I have so many things to share, but I'm just trying to compress them. Legends are more interested in creating options than making choice. And I kept some of these key informations to the end, because you don't want, look at this. Become the person that creates the option, not making the choice. This is the unspoken rules of greatness. You want to become a legend, a great person. You must not just be interested in making choices. Choice is the lowest level of decision making. Options is more greater. And I gave an example there. Party administration is more greater than vote. Some people say, I'll vote for my leader. I'll vote. But that's because there are people on the ballot box, isn't it? But those that are truly great are those that are in the primaries. Yeah? That determine those that are elected in the primaries. And we've said it there. We said it that you must be, you want to impact culture, you want to influence your national government, go join parties. I said it in the first webinar. Because party administration is more greater than voting. You have to be in the decision making, not in the comment section. Don't say my views ahead, I want to change. Nobody's going to see you there in comment section. But once you're in a policy room, people see you. Look at something there. Once is a mistake. Oh, I think this is a word for a young person here. Once is a mistake. Twice is a choice. The third time is an informed decision. Look at that. Once is a mistake. Twice is a choice. The third time, you know what you are doing is an informed decision. You know what you are doing the third time it happens. And many people, they have been victims of repeated patterns. No, you know what you're doing. Because you must have let great people treasure the lessons from mistakes. They reduce their margin of error. You can't, guys, these are valuable. Reduce your margin of error. I know that they will say, people entice you and say, nobody's above mistake, but yes, but reduce your error margin, reduce your mistake margin. You don't have all your lifetime to make mistakes, especially costly mistake. Some mistakes can take you a lifetime to, learn from and adjust and recover from. So why make mistake when you can learn from people? You can leverage. Once is a mistake, twice is a choice, third time informed decision. Once beaten, like they say, the popular quote. Once beaten, twice shy, third time foolish. I added that. That's for me. That's by the Holy Spirit. Inspired by the Holy Spirit. Once beaten, twice shy, third time foolish. And I know nobody here will have said that they are foolish. But check your decisions. Are you making repeated and repetitive mistake and patterns? Are you victim of some cause fallacy? Change your ways. Impact in 21st century is now culture shaping. Of course, if you don't have interest, like I said in that first part, leading yourself, leading people, leading business, and leading society. If you don't have interest in societal growth, culture shaping, you have nothing doing with greatness, because that's the quotient. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good work. Before men, and they may see your good works. It must be seen. It must be felt. Your impact must be felt. Next slide. As we begin to conclude, the enemies of greatness. There are several enemies and factors that impede greatness. Look at it. I coded it for you guys to see. To be clear, fear of starting, fear of standing alone, complacency,
Maybe you've sat down, you've started, you're standing, and now you want to sit down back again when it's not yet time. No, complacency, covetousness, envy, lust, pride. There's so many. Next slide. Yeah. Fear. Go to the part of fear. Fear limited Job. God wanted to bless him, increase him, but fear held him down. Fear held him down. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of boldness, of love, and of sound mind. What about pride? I need to take it to the previous slide, please. The story of Nebuchadnezzar. God wanted to increase his dominion, but he was so proud. He was very, very proud, and God had to humble him. After being in the world for 7 years, we saw that he now said that, oh, God is the God of all flesh, and there's no one like God, and etc. And that's when you now see that God increases greatness. So you want to come into the realm of greatness, every pride in you must be cut off. Must be cut off. The path to increase greatness. Next slide. We like to confess in Psalm 71 verse 21, thou shalt increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. But the path to greatness, as we begin to conclude, is a life of sacrifice, of suffering sometimes and total surrender. But however, greatness is not by force, it's a choice. Greatness is not by force, but by choice. Look at something I said. God can write a storyline, but it is your response that determines the dynamics of the drama. Look at that. God can say, you will be great, this guy. But it's your response. Like I've said it, of course, I've said it here. Your foundational principles are greater than your prophecies. Your foundational principles, your value system, greater than any prophecy. Yeah? Now this is a masterclass. This is a nugget that you will not want to miss. Next slide. 5 lessons from Naaman. And I know that we know the usual people in the Bible, yeah? Elijah, Daniel, Moses, but there are many people, and of course in subsequent webinar, we're going to be highlighting the unspoken people, the hidden people that we should learn from. A great life is an excellent life. So we want to learn 5 things from Naaman now. So who is Naaman? Naaman was the captain of the host of Syria. Look at the Bible, what the Bible called him. He was a great man with his master, and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance to Syria. So you see that a place. So you see what I'm saying here? People, master, yeah, place. He was also a mighty man of valor, but he was a leper. So Naaman was a great man that had honor with his boss and impact in his nation as any other person. However, he had only one weakness. As many of us on this call now, we have a weakness, like that enemy I've mentioned. Some people are suffering from pride. Some is lust. Some is fear. Some is complacency. Some is envy. But he didn't stop there. See, he had one limitation and deficiency. He had a weakness like any person at the start, as he start out, that hindered him from being a complete person, from complete victory. And in today's world, we have many people, we have winners with partial victory. We have many winners with partial victory in today's world. They thrive well in business and but spirituality, zero. They thrive well in spirituality, but financially and societal wise, zero. The wisdom of Naaman was that he took personal responsibility to solve it. He honed his weakness. Hashtag it. I hold my weakness. I hold my deficiency. I'm working on it. I'm on my way to greatness. I will not allow it to limit me when I get to the top. The major secret of Naaman, you see the competence. He was mighty man of valor. He was a great man because he delivered his people. So you're talking about greatness as a young person, as everyone on this call this evening, you must be competent. I know we didn't talk about that. That's why I left you to the last time, for the last part. You must be competent. Mastery, or is that your skill or talent or vocation? Second one is character and integrity. You're going to see it there. And the third one is connection, alliance, allegiance, strategic cycles. Let's learn it fast as we close. We'll close in 5 minutes. Look at number 1 quality of Naaman. Learn from Naaman. Host, work with me, please. Learn from Naaman. Naaman treated people with respect. He treated people with respect. Yeah. One day, there was a slave girl that they got from one of their battles they went for. But the girl said, "If only my master would go and meet this man of God." Is the host there, please? If only my master would go and meet this man of God in Israel, he will heal him of leprosy. He didn't say, "You're a small girl. Get out from the what do you know?" He listened. Why? And why did the girl come? Because Naaman must have been kind. Many people, you are already in maybe national, regional impact. Nobody in local can speak to you again. Raising shoulder pads up. Look at that. Naaman must have been kind to his maid and servant. That's why they must have provided him with it. Many of you, the people have the intention to help you, but because you are proud, because you are not nice, because you are wicked, you're not nice, they will not help you. They will rather watch you fall. The bond with his servant allows space for suggestion. So the first quality we must learn, Naaman he treated people with respect. The second point is he listened to sound advice. Yeah, when he got there, they said, "Go and dip yourself in the water." I said, "No." But they spoke to him that even if he has asked you to do something other than this, won't you do it? Listen to advice. So look at this. I've trusted people who tell you the real truth. Listen to advice. The third one is gratitude and honor. When he was healed, he didn't just go to Syria back. Then Naaman and his entire party went back to find the man of God. They stood before him, and Naaman said, "Now I know that there is no God in the world, in Israel, rather than in Israel." Despite being a great man, he called himself a servant. He said, "So please accept the gift from me, your servant." A great man called himself a servant. Look at that. So, despite being a great man, he called himself a servant. The fourth lesson is that he was a man of sacrifice and givings. Never get wowed at the sight of greatness without living with the possibilities that make it happen. Because after the encounter with Elisha in the Bible said that he took sand, from there. He said, "I will go and worship God with this sand." Why? Because never get wowed with the sight of greatness without living, like I said, familiarity. Don't colleague mentality with the great. No, that can't happen. You see a great person, don't just say, "Wow, this is a great person." Find out what makes this person a great person. What makes him a great person? Don't be like the Apostle Peter. The Apostle Peter saw Jesus Christ live in financial dominion, but he was stranded. He was just like, wow. He sent him to go and pick money from the fish. He didn't learn from that. This was a man that Jesus Christ made his boat to have net-breaking catch. He didn't learn from that. This was, many multiplications in the Bible. But when he was confronted with financial sacrifice, he said, "Silver and gold I have not." Never get wild by the sight of greatness without living with the possibilities that make it happen. And the last lesson from Naaman, the value for prayer and priestly blessings. I'm saying these things, guys, and you're gonna need it. In verse 19, Elisha said, "Go in peace." So Naaman started going home again. Any help that stops your journey to greatness is dangerous. If he turned home to his foundation, he didn't say, "I'll stay in Israel now." He went back to Syria. He went back to his foundation. You have to be connected to your roots. Many people, they've started achieving limelight, and they leave people their fundamental principles and value system. The people that believed in the same be like, "No, this person is not my person now," and they leave those that can protect them. Great people build with accountability and wisdom, not emotions. And as we end tonight, is the host there? Your attitude shapes your behavior. Your attitude shapes your behavior. Your aptitude expands your intelligence. And the alignment of both is what determines your attitude in life. Your attitude shapes your behavior. Your aptitude shapes your intelligence. When you combine both, you are aligned, and that determines your attitude in life. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us this evening. Thank you very much. That we've come to the end. If you've got any questions, you can drop them on our social media platform on Instagram. You can drop it also on the YouTube chat. We're gonna attend to it. I want to thank you guys for joining. I want to thank everyone for joining. The link will also be there, so you can always go watch and pick out key lessons from it. And of course, we are back again. The next webinar is going to be so inspirational. So inspirational. We're going to be speaking about the emotional intelligence that makes great people. Emotional intelligence is crucial into this world. So until then, stay tuned and see you next month. Bye.